Thank you, Chazak, for inviting me for this most special program as we discover the light and the gratitude that we find, Hakaras HaTov, thank you, Hashem, of Chanukah. This year, more than any year that I can remember, we need to plug in to the light of Chanukah. So many people are feeling down. So many people are feeling choshech and darkness, as if their heart has just dimmed. What do we do? How do we find the light again right now? For each person, their tsar, their pain is real. For some, they are worried and feeling choshech and darkness for their parnasa. For some, they just want to go back to school and have a regular day, a regular week where children are able to learn together and be together in a school environment and setting and have their friends. For some, a dream is to just join Bubby and Zaidi and have a beautiful Shabbos Chanukah together, get benched by their parents, by their grandparents. Some are very, very lonely. Some grandparents are just yearning to be able to see their grandchildren and their children again. For each person, their tsar, their frustration, their feeling stressed, their anxiety is real. So Hashem has given us right now a most incredible gift. And that is the gift of Chanukah, the light of our Chanukah Neiros. Chanukah comes now, and our Neiros speak to us. They whisper to us. They tell us a story. We tell the story. And what do we say when we light our Neiros? We say, V'chol shmonas yimei Chanukah, ha-Neiros halalu kodesh he, ve'ein lanu rishus lehishtamesh behem ela lirosam bilvad, kedei lahodus ulahalal. We cannot use these Neiros, we cannot use this light for anything except to just look at them, because they are giving us a story. They are giving us direction. They are giving us koach. What are we supposed to do when we see our Chanukah Neiros? Kedei lahodos ulahalal, to be able to give shevach v'hodah ta'kadosh baruch hu. And what are we here to give shevach and hodah for? What are we here to say thank you for? Hanerus halalu anachnu madlikim al hanisim v'al haniflos v'al hatshuos v'al hanechamos v'al hamilchamos she'asisu lavosenu bayamim hahem basman hazeh. We are saying that even today we are celebrating the nisim, the miracles, the yeshuos, the consolation, the great, incredible salvation that Hashem has given us. V'al hamilchamos, and the battles. 1 second. We are thanking Hashem for the milchamos, for the battles. Why do I thank Hashem for a milchama, for a battle that is waged, a battle, a struggle, a challenge? I can understand for nisim, for niflos, for yeshuos, for nechamos, all types of miracles and wondrous salvations. But for a milchama, why would I thank Hashem for a milchama? Why would I say lahodos lahalal, that I would look at these Neiros and say thank you Hashem for my struggle and for my milchama? Because the truth is that when we say thank you Hashem, we must also realize that the struggles and the milchamos and the challenges, and yes, even this time of choshech, of COVID, that has come into our lives and into the world, has brought us to a place where we can understand and appreciate and realize the incredible potential that lies within each and every one of us. We have no idea of what we are capable of. We have no idea of our bracha. Did we ever think that we would come to a place where we would appreciate being able to sit in a shul together? Did we ever think that we would appreciate going to school? Just the other week, I spoke to a small child and she said to me, I'm so happy I had a full week of school today. I was able to go back to school and learn like normal. Did we ever think that we would appreciate being together with family, with friends, going to a simcha, going to Eretz Yisrael, to the Kotel, the way that we appreciate it today? When I was growing up, my mother would say to me so often when there would be a challenge, Shefala, my sweet dear, in the desert, the sun is always shining, but nothing really grows. If you want something to grow, if you want to see a most beautiful, beautiful garden, you need rain and you need storms and you need sunshine and you need seasons of life, because that's where you see that potential becomes reality. That's where you see the fruits of your tears and your labor. So yes, kedei lahodos ulahalal, we thank Hashem, yes, for the nisim that are occurring even until today in our lives, but also for the milchamos, for the battle, even this battle of corona that we are each going through, because we have discovered what we are made of. We have discovered what we fight for, what we live for, what we sweat for, what we have mesiras nefesh for. We have discovered how deep our potential goes and how we are so capable of incredible, incredible heights. And we have discovered the ahava, the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for each and every one of us, even until today, because we truly are a nation of miracles, and we truly are, each of us, made up of our own personal nisim and miracles that we discover through our milchamos. Look at me. I shouldn't really be here. I was born upon the ashes of the Holocaust. My father, my mother, my grandparents, I lost my great-grandparents and my father's parents. My father lost his entire mishpacha, and my mother lost grandparents and great-grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles. Before the Holocaust, there were 85 rabbanim with the name Jungreis. They and their entire families perished. My own grandparents were seen walking in to the gas chambers, holding their grandchildren in their arms, my Zaidi and my Bubby. And here I am, and here we are. Each of us, if we think about it, we are a walking miracle. Each of us can think about a bracha that we can say to Hashem, thank you, Hashem. So the Neiros of Chanukah come to tell us that these lights are burning bright inside of us until today, until right now. But the challenge is, the first night of Chanukah, we're all pumped up and we're all excited and we're into it, and many of us sit in front of our Neiros and we contemplate, we say Tehillim, we think, but as each night goes, a little bit of the enthusiasm, a little bit of the inspiration starts to go. Oh, I had latkes already. I'm just maxed out. How many more donuts can I have? What night is it really again? How many Neiros should I put out? And we start to lose that light. We start to lose the inspiration. We start to lose the enthusiasm. So how do we plug into the light and keep plugging into the light? How do we keep that fire burning, kedei lahodos ulahalo, so that by the end, that last night of Chanukah, we can be that flame, that we are connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we are filled with that gratitude that brings us to this light of Chanukah that can change our lives. Because if we know how to plug in, we can find incredible bracha on these days. 36 Neiros, 192 hours we have in Chanukah, because the gematria of 192 for the 192 hours of Chanukah is Bakol Mikol Kol. In every bracha, from every bracha, with every bracha that I've ever had in my life. My past, my present, my future, it all comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we say, Harachaman, Hu Yivarecho Sanu, Kimosh Nisbaruchu Abosenu, Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Bakol Mikol Kol. Hashem, please give us the bracha of Bakol Mikol Kol, the same way that you've given it to our avos, to our imahos. 192 hours. We need to have the Hakaras HaTov to realize that every bracha we've ever had in our lives, every bracha that we have right now in our lives, and every bracha that we are hoping to have in our lives, because we have to remember and think about the bracha that we are asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for now. It all comes from Hashem, Bakol Mikol Kol. And these hours of Chanukah that we are given are here for us to contemplate and think about, what has Hashem given me? What does Hashem give me now? And what am I asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for, so that I can complete my mission in this world, so that my life can be filled with bracha, so that I can bring light into this world? Because the nace of Chanukah was brought through Pach Hashemen, that one last vessel, Pach Hashemen. And the word Hashemen also can spell neshama, because that is the Pach of the neshama, that pure neshama that each and every one of us possesses. And sometimes we think we don't see it, we don't feel it. You don't know what I've done. You don't know where I've been. I've lost all hope. It's so much choshech in my life right now. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is speaking to us, and the Neros whisper to us and says to us, each and every one of us, you have the Pach Hashemen inside of you. Look inside, because that spark, the Pach Hashemen, the neshama, is there forever. How do we discover it? How do we ignite that neshama that is just waiting to be ignited and kindled to become this great big fire? Bakol Mikol Kol, 192 hours. Think about the brachas that you've had. Think about the bracha that you have. And think about the brachas that you will have. Because Hashem is the source of all bracha that we have in life. Sometimes we think that we have Hakaras HaTov, but the truth is that we're not going about it the right way. And for us to attain bracha, for us to really have Hakaras HaTov, we have to know how to say thank you. So how do we say thank you? Who was the first person in the Torah to ever say thank you? The first person was Leah Imenu. Leah Imenu, when she gave birth to Yehuda, she said, Hapam odeh Hashem. This time I will say thank you to Hashem. This time I will have the Hakaras HaTov. But we must ask ourselves, what happened until Leah had Yehuda? What happened to the Hakaras HaTov until she had Yehuda? And this is human nature, that we must learn from Leah how to keep our eye on bracha that Leah finally learned when she had her son Yehuda. Before Yehuda, there was Reuven. And when Leah Imenu had Reuven, she Vatahar, Leah, and Leah conceived, Vatelid, and she gave birth Ben, and she had a son, Vatikra Shemo Reuven, and she called his name Reuven. Why? Ki Amra, she said, Ki Ra'ah Hashem ba'ani, Ki Ata Yahavani Ishi. Hashem saw my suffering, and now finally my husband is going to love me. Instead of saying, thank you, Hashem, for this baby. Thank you, Hashem, for my life. Thank you, Hashem, for this simcha, for this joy. She put her eye on what she thought she was missing. Hashem saw my suffering. Now my husband's going to love me. Vatar Od, and she conceived again. Vatele Ben, and she had a son. Vatomer, and she said, Ki shama Hashem ki sinua anochi. Hashem heard that I was hated. Vayiten li gam es Zeh. And Hashem gave me again now another child. Vatikra Shemo Shimon. She had another child. And again, instead of saying, Hashem, wow, thank you for this bracha, it's amazing, thank you for this second son of mine. Instead, Leah put her eye on what she thought she was missing, on what she felt deprived of, and she called the child Shimon. Leah conceives again a third son, Vatar Od. She conceives again, Vateled Ben, and she has a son, Vatomer, and she says, Ata hapam yilaveh ishi elai, ki aladati lo shlosha banim. This time, okay, this time it's going to be good. This time my husband is going to accompany me because I gave him 3 sons. Al kain kara shemo Levi. And so she called the child Levi. This is human nature. You have something beautiful. Imagine you have this beautiful white shag carpet in your room. And somebody comes over and they spill a cup of red wine on your beautiful white living room carpet. Every time you walk into that room, you are aggravated. Your eye goes straight to the stain, and you just want to get that stain out, because when something bothers us, instead of seeing the whole picture, I have this incredibly beautiful room and beautiful furniture and a beautiful rug, our eye goes to that which bothers us, which irritates us, which we say, oh, I don't like this. This has to be fixed. Something's in my life that I feel deprived of. So Leah felt deprived. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, instead of saying, thank you, Hashem for giving me not 1 son, not 2 sons, 3 sons. Thank you, Hashem, for all this bracha. It's incredible. Hodu Lashem kitov, kili olam chazdo. Instead, Leah saw what she wanted, what she felt she needed. And that's where there was a lacking, until finally Leah had her son Yehuda, and she said, this time I get it. Hapamodel Hashem. This time I say, Hodu Hashem kitov, kili olam chazdo. And she called her child Yehuda, Yud Ke Vav Ke, with the letter Daled, for David HaMelech. Because when we have Hakaras Hatov, when we finally get it, when we see the picture and we say, thank you, Hashem, Hodu Lashem Kitov, Kili Olam Chazdo, I see your hand in my life, Hashem, then we give birth to Malchus. Then we give birth to David HaMelech. Then we can share in the vision of David HaMelech. Melech HaMashiach. This is how we bring Mashiach. This is how we bring Yeshua. To be able to have complete Hakaras Hatov, to be able to say, Bakol, Mikol, Kol, everything I have had, everything I will have comes from you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Inside of me is Pach Hashemen. I have a neshama just waiting to be discovered, even in the milchamos, even in the battles, the mesiras nefesh that I have been feeling, that I have been going through, my challenges, my stress, my pressure, has taught me who I am. This is what I sweat for. This is what I live for. This is what I've come to appreciate in my life. Hapamodel Hashem. I see it, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. I see the whole picture. And this is the message of the Neiros, whispering to us, asking us, each of us, to see the bracha in our lives, to say, Lahodos lahalo, thank you, Hashem. When I had one of my sons on Shabbos Kodesh, it meant that we would have a Shabbos bris. I didn't know it at the time. But that would be the final and last Shabbos that I would ever have the zechus, the privilege, to have my father in my home for Shabbos, together with my mother. The morning of the bris, it was a cold, cold day in January. I remember my father coming down the stairs with this huge smile, And my father said to me, Shefala, hodu la Hashem kitov, kili olam chazdo. It's such a beautiful day. Hashem gave you the sun shining for your simcha. And I remember I laughed and I said to my father, but it's just the sun shining. I didn't appreciate at the time, the moment. If I would have known that it was the last time that I would have my father for Shabbos, how I would have appreciated that simcha, how I would have appreciated even that sun shining to complete our simcha. And it was just 1 year later that I was with my father together on a very cold day in January in Sloan Kettering. My father asked if I can take him outside for a little bit of fresh air. I bundled my father up in a coat, put on his scarf, his hat, and in a wheelchair. I took my father down to the sidewalk on York Avenue in front of Sloan. The sun was shining, and I'll never forget the moment. My father looked up to the sky, and he said, I feel the Shekhinah of Hashem on me today. I feel the presence of Hashem on me. Hodu la Hashem kitov, kili olam chazdo. This then becomes our challenge, to see the light of Hashem, the Yad Hashem, in our every moment. Bakol mikol kol, in all the bracha we've had, all the bracha we have, and all the bracha that we will have. Each of us has pach Hashemen, that little vial of oil, just waiting to be discovered, that neshama. We never give up on ourselves. We never give up on Klal Yisrael. And we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us forever and ever. Hodu la Hashem kitov, ki liolam chazdo.